Use the bathroom before you start.
Yes, third page of the reorg.
Third page.
Of reorg. Yeah, that's it. So,
Bills.
at the bottom.
All right, can someone on the line just let me know if you can hear us? Is everybody there?
Yeah.
All right, hey, Greg.
Hello, Greg. Greg, you need a haircut.
Hey, Greg. Thumbs up. You can hear us.
Okay.
All right, good. Thank you. How come we can't hear him though? He's muted.
You can hear me now.
All right.
I'm going back.
Hi, Tab.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
No.
All right.
He could go the next one.
Greg, you can see the agenda, right?
Now I don't know where I went.
You can see the agenda on the screen. I'm sharing the screen.
Yes, we see it. We're good.
Perfect. All right, so we're good.
I just keep telling you, Gabby, right before what I need to say. Thank you, my dear. Oh, wow. Right. Yeah, we should follow the order. Okay, I'd like to call the reorganization meeting of the Board of Education to order. Join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And just, I said, everyone just try to speak up.
Very wonderful. First on the agenda is a motion to appoint Catherine Hilliard as district clerk effective July 1st, 2020.
I make a motion.
Second. Sorry. Discussion, I just want to say, in discussion, I want to say thank you to Kathy. We really appreciate what you do. We appreciate your spirit of excellence, your diligence. Everything's always right there, right on time, well done. So I just want to say I heartily, second this motion to appoint you. And thank you so much, especially in the last couple of months. You are greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
I'll second all
All right, and so now we had a motion and a second for discussion. Now, all in favor?
that.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Congratulations. And the oath of office, so I'm saying it and you're repeating it, okay? So I, Kathy Hilliard,
I, Catherine Hilliard,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of district clerk
of district clerk
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so now it's all for the board.
So do you now
Now, I'm good.
read this or do you have a copy?
I have. Okay. So you're all standing right now. State your name. You solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
The Constitution of the State of New York.
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
board trustees for
board
the
trustee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
I thought you could be separate. Maybe I'd never do it. Okay. State your name, Sylvia Roch. You solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of New York. And the Constitution of the State of New York. And I will faithfully discharge the duties of. And I will faithfully discharge the duties of superintendent of schools. According to the best of my ability. According to the best of my ability.
Yay.
Sign now, so Christine could. Yeah.
Here.
No, that was the first. The first one. No.
I just want to look at what
For everyone on the call, we're just signing the oath of office right now, and you'll hear the audio again in a few minutes.
Thanks, Frank.
Okay, you guys, just the administrators are asking, they can hardly hear us. So when you are speaking, if you're comfortable, we are socially distanced apart, so you can pull down your mask. Please just really speak up.
Okay.
Right now.
Are we ready to move on?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So,
No.
so at this point in time, I'd like to call for nominations for the president of the Board of Education.
I'll second that.
I'll-
I think Barbara did a fine job the first year, if she's willing.
I wondered myself, no, I am willing to serve again. I am willing to serve again. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support. And I feel like we're a team and we're doing the district good by working as a cohesive team. So thank you.
Any other nominations? You move nomination be closed and no ballot be cast.
Discussion.
All in favor?
At this point in time, we'd like to call for nominations for the vice president of the Board of Education.
I'd like to move that we let Doug, the vice president.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Doug, are you willing to
He is
serve?
willing to, of course, he's willing to do it again. And, I appreciate the knowledge you have of everything in this district and, the longevity, and I think that helps
Very helpful.
make decisions. Yeah, I appreciate
Right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay. Fine, Barbara, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you.
Everybody, we're on page 3. 3, that's the right place. Page 3, the reorganization
Yeah.
meeting. Okay.
Yes, number 6.
So,
Work.
okay.
Yep, so this is the appointment of the district treasurer, right? Deputy treasurer and assistant clerk.
So names.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So may I have a motion for the approval of the organization appointments A through C?
First.
I'll make a second. I'll second it.
Is somebody recording first, second? Okay. Is there any discussion?
I do have one question. This is just a matter of procedure that we have to do this every year, even though these individuals, most of the individuals and in the next section have already been serving in roles, we're just,
That's the purpose of the rework that you officially appoint the position.
you have to do it every year. Okay. Thank you.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Next is a motion for the approval of compliance designations A through R.
So
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now, financial designations on page 5 at the top. I'll entertain a motion to approve financial designations A through S.
Make a motion.
second?
Discussion?
One question.
Right.
Do we have district-owned cell phones? I know that we're approving the current policy.
I think we have a handful of them.
Yeah, we have a small number for primarily BOE and bus drivers.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. On to special education designations A through H. May I have a motion for the approval of those special education designations A through H?
Make a motion.
Second.
Discussion? I have one question on H. It says authorize the board president to appoint the impartial hearing officer on recommendation of superintendent and legal counsel. When does that happen?
So an impartial hearing would be when there's an issue between the district on the CSE process and
Okay,
parent and or the district could actually request an impartial hearing. We have to hire, appoint an impartial hearing officer.
okay. So,
Hope not to get to those points.
right. So, all right. Thank you for clarifying. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Yep.
Opposed? Carried, motion carried. And on to new business. I'd like a motion to approve miscellaneous items A through D.
No move.
Second.
Discussion?
Just a question, are these rates very similar to last year?
Yeah, they're similar, they're set for us, they're like set rates.
I'm sorry.
They're set rates from state ed, and yes, they're similar to last year.
Okay.
All in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. And now I just need a motion to adjourn this.
I make a motion to adjourn the reorganization.
Second. And there's no discussion on that. We all agree. Thank you very much. For adjourning the reorganization.
Which I just want to be clear, they're similar, but they're not exact on that. You know, similar, but not the same.
Yeah.
It's according to the formula.
Yep.
All these things.
I'd like to call the regular monthly meeting of the Board of Education to order. It's July 7th, 2020. First on the agenda is I need a motion to approve the claims report of June 2020 and the financial reports.
Make a motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next is approval of the minutes of June 18th, 2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now, because we're meeting this way and we don't have an audience in front of us, do we have any communication from the public? Have we gotten any? I haven't gotten anything. Anybody?
Never gotten any communication from the public, but for the record, this meeting was supposed to be in person.
Yeah.
And it changed to the executive order that came out very late last night, that it changed. This issue almost exactly a month ago, that the open meetings law, that they were to be done virtually, and then recently changed to be in person. Due to the COVID virus and safety precautions, the governor issued an update to that executive order last night, extending this to August 5th. And so today we had to make the adjustments. So we put it on the website very early this morning and on the boards outside of the school. But the public didn't have a lot of turnaround.
No.
Not that I think we're expecting a lot of people, but
Yes.
But the next month's meeting, maybe.
right. So unless we hear otherwise, it should be in public.
Very good.
And by then, the library will be available.
Sounds good. Yeah. Next, we have some presentations.
Yeah, so each year we update the district-wide safety plan and professional development plan. I'm going to ask Mr. Warner to present the district-wide safety plan. Board, you have a copy of that. After this is reviewed, it eventually gets placed up on the district website. Keep in mind that the buildings have individual plans that are not released publicly, so this is more generic in nature.
Yes. Okay.
I can't hear you, but let me know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, it's very difficult to hear anything that you guys are saying. So if you have any feedback, I'll try my best or questions, I'll try my best to answer you. But I want to go through and just review parts of the district-wide safety plan. As Jill said, it is an annual review. It's something that is part of the Commissioner's Regulations 155.17. And where it came from was basically it's Project SAVE Act created the district-wide, the need for the district-wide safety plan. So we're required to do one each year, have it approved by the Board of Education, send it to the state of New York for approval. Within the safety plan, as Jill talked about, the safety plan, the district-wide safety plan is pretty generic. And it really just itemizes your procedures. Well, you have it here on the screen. I'm not sure if you have it in front of you or how you're looking at it, but really if you reference the table of contents, you could see what it covers. And it's an overview of what our plans would have to include. Jill talked about the building level safety plans, which are not public. The district-wide is public. But the building level would be more in depth, and that's what we would use for our actual operations. The district-wide just kind of gives you a broad overview of that we do have these policies. These are how we plan to implement them, but it's, again, very generic. The plan is built by several different stakeholders, and your administrative team, your facilities director, your security supervisor, the tech support, teacher representatives, a community member, the Southold PD, and our local fire departments. So we've all worked collectively on creating the district plan and setting up our guidance for the building level plans. If you look at your table of contents, and we could sit here all night and go through this document, but I just want to refer to a couple of things that are in it. So this is a general consideration for our planning guidelines. That's really what this document is. It sets us up for our planning guidelines to build the building level safety plans, which again, I said are more specific. But what's included in here is we're looking at how do we reduce our risk, how do we prevent and intervene when there is an emergency. So we have response protocols, we have recovery protocols, and they're all specific to our emergency management practices, which include any incidents at school, any natural disasters that may occur, any accidents within our area or within our region, any allergic reactions, what we're going through currently, a pandemic, bomb threats, hostage situations. It really gives us an overview for setting us up to build our plans for each particular issue or concern that may arise. What you'll do with this today is you'll look at it, you'll approve it, and from there, or ask for changes. But with your approval, then we can send it to New York State for an approval, and that is what we'll use to help us build our building level plans. Are there any questions to it? Again, like I said, we could go over the particulars of this, but you have the document. I think it's most important to understand what it is, and that it is an annual review and an annual approval.
Yeah, Greg, this is George. I guess my question is we're submitting this to the state, and I guess they need to approve it. But I know you indicated that you've talked to numerous groups in developing and editing the plan. But is the plan reviewed overall by anybody just to see if something's missing, or as a complete plan? I know if you have the police take a look at it, they'll give you a certain insight. You have the fire department look at it, they're looking at a different insight, but is anybody looking at it as a total overall plan?
Well, what we do is we build it collectively. So we're continuously working on it and manipulating it collectively. And then once we've put it all together collectively, Mr. Smith and myself most recently went through the entire document to make sure that it was accurate and that was the final product that we wanted to submit. As you can imagine, because it's an annual review, things do not change all that much from year to year.
Right.
So a lot of our information that we have had in it would stay the same. There would be minor changes. So we're pretty comfortable with this plan that we're putting forward. As it, again, like I said, it doesn't change too much. What does change, and because this is public, again, remember, this is a guidance document. Our building level plans may change due to situations and, you know, where we might be, you know, today or this year on the things that we might be thinking about. So this is just really a guidance document to help you build the private building level plan, which is shared among staff members and how we react specifically to things. So,
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
that said last year, so your question is, did somebody review this, like outside of us, I think you're asking. We brought in an advisor that worked with the district-wide safety team. Our plan was over 15 years old, and we really worked through each one of these things for over, I want to say, guys, right, like 10 days last summer to ensure.
Yeah, we really built this plan in depth last summer.
Right.
We only had to tweak parts of it this year.
So we have brought in an expert in the field who helps districts, particularly in this, and speaking to us about incident command centers, reactions, tabletop exercises. So we went through that last summer, and as a result, this plan is very much up to date. One thing though that our team looked at prior to sending it to you was the portion on the pandemic, which probably wasn't a lot of attention to that in the past, but yet we were up to speed even on the pandemic portion. So this is a very current document in that way, George, in that we had an expert guide us through the process.
Thank you.
Greg, it's Pat Slanian.
Yes, Pat, how are you? Welcome.
How are you? How's the baby?
Terrific.
Oh, good. Okay, let's not get off track. The plans for the individual buildings, besides the pandemic, all that went on with that, have there been major changes made this year to those plans?
There's not been major changes to those yet, as that will be the next set of plans that we're really going to dive into after this one is adopted, because that'll drive us into that plan. Really what we'll have to, I think, along with some of our guidance that we're going to receive, hopefully very soon, I think your building level plan may change considerably. I can't say that for sure, but I'm assuming it will. But no, we haven't, Pat, to answer your question, that's the next document that we're going to have to get into, which we haven't done so yet.
Okay, thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
You know, with things that we are seeing, you know, we brought in a new radio system last year. So when we've been building our return to school, we're looking at multiple entrances, spread people out in entering the building. Well, with that comes different security, different safety protocols that will need to be followed in those areas. So we need to be mindful of that. And like the radios is another piece. Do we have enough radios to be able to cover all these multiple entrances, and the staff to be able to man those areas that are now open as people are coming in? So those would be things that would obviously be in consideration.
I think one thing that we've been working on in the last several days is going to help us guide us through our building level plans dramatically. I think it's really going to help what we've been doing to add to those. So, any other questions, or I will mute myself once again.
Hold on.
Greg, just one question. I think I know the answer. Historically, the communication between buildings and in the building between people has been problematic, to say the least. That has been addressed and is working well now.
Our radio communication, if you remember last year in both the budget presentation and even in the safety plan, or in this presentation I did last year, I believe I went over our new radio system. And so the radio system upgrade has worked out. It's been a tremendous help. So we have the ability to speak over the radio within the building. Our messages there's a repeater that our messages will go also from each building to Cutchogue West. And then we're not having the best of luck communicating from the high school to East, but we're working that out all the time. But our internal communications through radio is excellent now within each building and to West. Cell phone service, we're not going to, at Cutchogue East is still, once you're in that building, it's still very bad, but we can't fix that. That's outside of our ability. But our radio system has proven to be just giving us so much more opportunity and capability throughout the year. So I think we're all on the same page with that we think that was a great benefit to us.
Thank you.
The other thing is, like, we instituted the Rave app last year, so just since that time, we've used the app, and more so, not in cases of necessary like a crisis or an emergency, but health-related risks or things like that. We've even had somebody hit the button accidentally, but that was great practice for us to see what the response was in those instances and like who's responding and, you know, are we following the protocols that are identified in the system. So, you know, we've learned a lot throughout the year. I think, as Greg says, the radio system, that's credit to the employees because we put a plan in place, yet they're carrying them everywhere they go. So that's important, that communication is available throughout the day. And you can hear that, you know, those kind of communication going on. Playground, dismissal.
Greg, you said that communications at Cutchogue East are still problematic. I'm thinking from outside school to inside the school or vice versa.
Cell phone service inside Cutchogue East building is depending on what plan you have. Certain plans are non-existent service inside that building. I believe wireless or Verizon is okay. I have Verizon, so I could speak to that. I think your Sprint and AT&T are almost non-existent to get service in there. But I'm not, you know, somebody else might be able to speak to AT&T and Sprint, but I know there are certain people that don't get any service in that building.
And the app, Rave app works on your phone.
But the two-way radios work okay.
Two-way radios are perfect in every building.
Okay.
Yeah, they're great.
And it's Jerry here. We also created a separate Wi-Fi network for the teachers so that once they're logged on, they can do Wi-Fi calling from within the building to use the Rave app to circumvent their inability to connect.
And also with the new phones at Cutchogue East in every classroom, teachers can dial out to any number that they need to, whether it's 911 or, you know, a 631 or 516. So even if for some reason their cell may not be working, that's also been added by the new phone system.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay, thanks. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you very much. Next is superintendent's report.
We've got a professional development plan, so Alana, if you're on the line, we're gonna ask you to do a quick presentation on the professional development plan for 2021.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, good evening. One second. So the professional development plan is another regulation as well. It's a mandated plan And so there are components of the plan that have to align with that regulation. But the big point is that all of our staff development is designed to provide our faculty and staff with strategies, resources, and training that they need to meet the needs of all of our students. And at this time, with shifts in standards, changing demographics, and now remote or hybrid learning challenges, the support is more important than ever. You'll see that there is a committee that we did meet with this year, and then have had ongoing through this time, even separate conversations with about the needs for this year. But what we did also this past year, we started more of a global approach for a more specific range of feedback by doing faculty surveys. So even for an example, with the two big initiatives with instructional technology and our literacy initiative, actually, one of the literacy initiative surveys actually provided us with feedback that actually changed our direction a little bit. So that was really helpful. So we're gonna actually start doing a lot more of that. You'll see that the plan includes our themes of focus for this year are academic intervention, literacy, mathematics, history, E&L, the STEAM, instructional technology, and some safety and security. But even though we have certain themes that everybody's working on, we just want to make sure that we encourage and foster some flexibility and diversity in program design. And that happens when you encourage individual teachers to continue to work on their own personal interests and develop expertise. So I believe this plan is aligned to our district mission and the state mandates, but more importantly, we know that professional growth provides high quality education for our students, and I believe that's where we are. That was a quick one.
Lana, this is George. You state that it's a state mandated document. Do we ever get feedback from the state once we submit it?
No, it's not. I think it's mandated that you have the document and that you have the plan. And then there's guidance on what should be included in the plan.
Have a plan.
Okay.
Not something that you know, other things that you submit through the portal and it gets reviewed. So.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? I just want to thank you because you take this portion of your responsibility very seriously. The professional development that has been offered to the staff this year has been invaluable, and just your leadership skills in this area has been terrific. You know, some of the professional development, as Alana said, really obviously, you know, dribbles down to the kids in different ways. And when we look at that, you know, classroom libraries, different things that we're putting in place that haven't been there before, based on, you know, opportunities, dialogue with colleagues, or the survey she's done. I mean, it's really been extremely helpful, and it's just expanded the opportunities for kids. So I think that's really the most important piece of really the impact on children.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Okay, have a good one.
it. Thank you.
So the superintendent's report, I just want to thank, I think Mr. Petretti and Mr. Smith may be on the line, but I just want to commend them for the graduation ceremonies. It was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony, and hopefully some people got to watch it virtually. But for what, you know, for making this moment so special for kids, it was like the real ceremony, minus half the class, I have to say.
I just want to say I have so much feedback from the community
Really?
that never get to go to a graduation and were able to see it and were able to see what we usually get to see. So yeah, they did a great job.
And I think that, like, you bring up a good point, because even though we had a pivot and change throughout this process, you know, we have learned a lot, and there will be some practices that we had to put in place because of the virus that we would replicate in the future. So there are certain things that came about that the families enjoyed, or our community One of the things that, in partnership with the parents, was those banners that went outside on the tennis courts and how families, and that was not, I want you to know, not purchased by the district, that was purchased by a community effort. But how people came, a couple nights was driving home and saw some, older couples walking and just admiring it and just really taking the time to, speak to me and how appreciative they were to see the kids up there. And they thought it was just really nice tribute to our children. So there was lots of things that we talked at our last meeting, but the graduation ceremonies, Tanya Witzak did a wonderful job with the balloons and making a walkway. Our custodial and facilities team set up the night before. We had, thank one of our custodians for spending the night to make sure that was all in place the next morning. But it really was a wonderful ceremony. Sean and Dave, if you're on the line still, thank you
Yes.
so much. And again, I think families really appreciated your efforts. The next thing I just want to talk about is to give the community and the board a little bit of information that we, over the past, I don't even know how many days we're into this now, have been working on our reopening plans. Still do not have any guidance from the state education department or Governor Cuomo. However, we have seen, multiple plans, whether it be in the United States or throughout the country. We're looking at different plans when we're considering our plans. We are putting together 3 different models of reopening. So full staff and students in, to a hybrid model, to hopefully not a full closure. And so in our model, we are looking from health-related and safety cautions in each one of those models to the instructional component. We put out 2 surveys, one to parents, one to teachers. We've met with the MCTA to get feedback in person. So those are some of the things we're meeting with the CSEA tomorrow, just to kind of get some feedback and tell them kind of where we are in the process. I mean, I expect that next week sometime, you're hearing the Board of Regents is meeting on the 13th, that we should get some guidance sometime next week. We will, again, be meeting with the staff to share those plans, and then, of course, the parents. The feedback from the survey, we had almost 260 families, of course, of times how many children in those families, but that's been really helpful because we need to know, will families be taking the bus, or will they be driving their kids? Will they be able to provide a bag lunch so students can eat in the classroom and limit traffic in the hallways? Things like that. Will you be bringing your child back to school in the various models? And we already are hearing from the families who responded that some people will not. So those are things that we want to reach out to those families to see how can we continue to support them. That's whatever the model may be.
So when you're talking about all these plans, I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about the health piece. The nurses, we now have 1.5 nurse in the high school and 1 nurse in the elementary. I'm just thinking, would you need to, and you don't have to answer this, would you need to increase that somehow to check if whatever plan we have?
So it could be, and that's one of the pieces that we have to staffing considerations. So as I spoke about in the safety plan, you have to think about where are our security guards, so we need to adjust schedules.
Yeah.
So within the plan, those are some considerations that need to take place. But within the plan, if you were full or even hybrid, within the nurse's office, we need to kind of create a sick room in case somebody is sick, so they're not infecting other people in the building. So we're taking those things into consideration when we man that. Currently, we have some procedures that are in place in district right now. We have special education summer school now in session that started on Monday. So we just started new procedures and we're able to access some thermometers. So every person entering will take their temperature and has to do a health checklist, essentially. They'll do it at home. You're not obviously recording anyone's temperature, but you just need to verify that you don't have a temperature. We are asking students and staff to wear masks at this time. Students are not required to wear masks, but encouraged, and if they can handle it throughout the day. So those are things, you know, that we're putting in place for the special education program right now, and we'll continue into the school year. As we've spoken about, there's a lot of things that happen like within the pandemic that we can reflect on and say we can do this differently. The instructional time, for example, at the high school, what are the periods, or the scheduled periods, is that helpful to families and teachers? They see it needed to be longer. How long can students attend during the day? Like, what's the sweet spot in terms of the elementary level and then the secondary level? How do we provide more supports for children who are working remotely, who particularly in special education type settings might need more support throughout the day? So those are things that are just all, I mean, and then health pieces. We have enough equipment. Can we get it? I mean, we keep ordering. I don't know if we're just going to be able to have to provide like whatever the plan is. Say it's hybrid. We have to do. You have to have a backup plan. Should we need to close? If we're expecting that. Anyway, that's kind of the status of.
One question, Jill. You indicated that some of your responses is they're not planning on sending the kids back. If we're fully open, what are our obligations and what are our abilities to help these students whose parents are fearful of sending them to school?
So we would keep that in on what our obligations are related to that and what's our capacity to provide that. When we look at the responses right now, they're, and again, we're making some assumptions, but based on the families we know, some of those children don't have health risks. But for whatever reason, this family is thinking that, you know, like, we don't have any known health risks. That's not to say that the child may not, but the number of kids, I think it's just a family choice at this point in time. I don't know what the direction will be related to that. I expect we may have some obligation. However, you know that through the immunization process that we went through last year, parents choosing not to have their child immunized, I don't know, George.
Okay.
But we will need to pivot and change again, should we need to be able to do something there.
I was going to ask if there are possibility we can look into finding options for parents. Say for in person, but we can offer the option of families that want to promote. At least for this.
You know, again, we're limited in staffing right now, trying to keep creative. The plans, depending, you know, might be a little bit different for different grade levels, based on what we see as educational needs of kids. Like we're looking at more of a K-3 and a 4-6 model, and then a 7-12. In addition, if we were to have to do a hybrid model, we're looking at pretty much like an A/B kind of type schedule. I know this sounds a little nutty and a lot of work, but we are literally going to go family by family to say, okay, the Wheaton family has a child in 3rd grade and a child in 7th grade. You want to put that child on the A-day schedule for both kids, so that if that parent is working, that perhaps, you know, there's some consistency in the home, perhaps some support with siblings and childcare.
I don't think that's necessary. I think that's part of.
You know, like, but I mean, when you talk about how challenging that would be for the puzzle, when I say nuts pad, it's like a puzzle that,
Yes.
in addition, we'd be looking for feedback from parents, you know, this is another step, but, you know, maybe the Wheatons and the Hogues are gonna share childcare. So we want to even, you know, try to look at that, but we're not gonna be able to guarantee make everybody happy in this. But we're gonna try our best to really, you know, we want to acknowledge that parents are working, trying to provide, you know, this would be very challenging for families if it is a hybrid model. I mean, yes, their kids will be coming to school for a couple days a week, but it's still not easy.
So, and it's so unpredictable from day to day. Look what happened yesterday. 3 more states are not allowed in New York. You know, it's odd.
No, so, but again, we know that our teachers and kids are safe in school and that they receive an outstanding education being here. And I'm not saying that parents really stepped up. But the social emotional piece, all of those pieces, we believe that kids should be back in school and that we need to provide that safe environment to be able to do that. So every detail in terms of like moving computers out of the classroom because we have devices for children, looking at a rental agreement with BOCES for iPads for the K-1, you know, things like that, so that kids don't have to go to the back computer too. It might be a device on their desk.
Well, even the logistics of your specials, and I mean, it's.
The special, you know, coming to the classroom.
Yeah.
How do you provide remedial service better remotely? You know, like if that is remote. We have some very creative models that we're considering. I
Now,
think,
you have a committee working on that, Chris?
so it's the administrators that are working on it. We're taking the feedback from the parents and the teachers in the survey, and then we meet with the different constituency groups. We meet with the PTA leaders, the MCTA leaders, and the CSEA leaders.
And you don't think it would be better just to have a committee that has the leaders as well as parents, everybody, a representative there, and all your survey?
No,
Why?
because there's a lot of different opinions on the opening, and which, although we want to take the feedback, sometimes too many hands in the pot and too many, you know, different interests.
Well, I see it differently. I see it as it's easier to co-opt other people into your point of view if they feel they're included in that process.
I think they do. I mean, we've heard that they feel very included and very appreciative that we've done the surveys and met with them. So like yesterday, I said we met with the MCTA leaders. They're very appreciative.
It's still all in isolation. I just think when you do a bigger group, and I know too big, it gets out of hand as well. I just think you all hear the same thing at the same time. That's the point of view.
Well, I kind of disagree and agree. I disagree to have a larger group involved early on. It just elongates the whole process. I think at some point when there is a draft of a plan, to then go out to maybe a larger group to get that final set of input and adjust accordingly.
Yeah, I didn't mean as you go along, because I know you need to have information to have a base. But that's what I'm thinking. When you're about to come up with a final plan or
We will
one or
have
two.
it there. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So the social distancing in the classroom.
Really depends on the size of the room. So that's also the other piece of consideration, but you know, if it's an A-day, B-day schedule between 10 and 15, depending on that, and it's very preliminary, like throwing that out there, but it really depends on the room. Like, is it band class, is it chorus room? Can we move some of these classrooms to bigger? So, you know, when I say it's a little nutty that we're kind of looking at all these things, I'm not going to say that if a parent needs this on this day and that classroom then is bumped up to 16, that we're going to say no. We're going to look at the social distancing parameters that that child may be involved in for that day.
It sounds like it's basically a living, that, you know, every day you keep adjusting, keep fixing, keep tweaking. I don't think we can come up with something, you know, that's set in stone because
Some
the
of the other
moving parts, they're just moving.
Some of the other pieces is like, you know, we're suggesting that people wear masks, right? When kids are wearing, and if everyone was wearing a mask, you have a little more wiggle room because you're wearing a mask and not, there's a sense of security and protection there. If kids were not wearing masks, that's really where you really need the 6 foot. So we don't really know that piece of how long the kids keep the masks on and when they keep them on all day. So that's a driver in it, believe it or not, even on the buses. The transportation, like what is the transportation gonna look like? There are models that we're looking at with 28 students on a bus, socially distanced. Should kids be wearing masks, we'll put a few more kids on that bus, like siblings sitting together. You know, but that's more runs, so we kind of need to know with parents which bus they'd be on, changing the whole routing. There's a lot of moving pieces. Right now, as you know, we've spent a lot of time talking about the facility, and we see the work going on in the district right now. We're trying to get those things done so that we can get buildings set up sooner.
Say the cafeteria, using that space.
And no, that's not to say that can't have cafeteria for certain things. You know, we have free and reduced lunch. Over 30% of our children are entitled to free and reduced lunch. That doesn't mean that everybody takes advantage of it. That still means that you need to get those lunches. I believe we'll have an obligation to keep our service program for families in place, and also child care. That's having renewal this summer for essential workers. So I expect that will still be fun.
If we go with an ABA, will child care be provide child care for those working parents that are?
So we will not have like child care, like full day child care. No. So it's like, otherwise we just really have a school open with that many kids. So champions will be open to families the days that their kids attend the program. You know, so if you're in a day, like if you're in a Monday, Wednesday, you'll be able to go to champions those days. But they have to social distance too. And they have very strict guidelines in terms of that, and then their staff. I just want to also just go to that, because don't forget we have a UPK program starting. So our goal is to provide champions for the UPK families as well. And champions needs to provide more staff to accommodate the younger age children in that type of program. So you have to keep that in mind. We added a whole other.
Is Champions going to be able to operate if they're going to lose potentially half their revenue, because the AB day, they're only going to get half the kids?
We haven't heard of any issues, and we've been meeting with them. I was happy. I don't know if you're still on the line and want to comment at all, but we also added.
Yes, I'm still here. That hasn't been an issue coming up from Champions yet. They're going to work with us, you know, and they have been working with us since they started, you know, to provide the care. Even sometimes we've had smaller groups of children, but they're committed to our district. So I don't see any concerns with that.
Great, thank you, Kathy.
They may actually even get more kids, because it's like the parent knows these are my days, right? And maybe they work longer days so that they can take off, like work from home, right? You know, there's a lot of unknowns, like even with the child care piece. But no, then unfortunately we don't have capacity to provide all, you know, working parents with child care all day long.
Any questions?
Okay, but we'll keep you posted, you know, I mean, we're in charge. Administrators, I mean, we've been hunkered down. I think we eat so much pizza. Like, what are we eating today? Because they pack, I mean, that's 8:30 to 4. You haven't left the room.
Yeah.
Not going out.
And you couldn't do any of that remotely?
You know what? We have it up on a screen pack. We're literally walking through the different components. There's about
Just
9
thinking the pizza.
different
Okay, I'm sorry, I was your pizza.
about 9 different elements, plus we're reviewing other people's plans. We're going back, there's some superintendent guidance. So there's a lot of back and forth, there's small groups within that room working. You have to bring in facilities, see, also one moving pieces. It's a challenge, but you want to be able to be very flexible.
Appreciate that. Appreciate all the time, it's all the effort. It's unbelievable, the amount.
Hope to get it right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think we're creative enough here that, we'll start off and then as we go, we're flexible and creative to be able to kind of make it work as we see what happens with each step. That's what I've always loved about this district and the creativity and teachers working together and, that's kind of who we are here. So I'm confident that we're gonna do the best by our kids. Yep. Excited. Okay, on to new business. I would like a motion for the approval of personnel items A through J. Do we want to add one?
Yeah, so we got to educate, that would be an annual stipend for a district clerk. Be 18,000 for the 2021 school year.
Okay, so then the motion would be for the approval of personnel items A through K.
Yes.
I make a motion.
I'll
Second.
Discussion.
Joe?
Just want to make sure I'm just looking on here for the substitute pay. It's on resolutions happening. I know.
Yes, yes, on resolutions.
Okay,
A.
okay, so yeah,
So we
no,
can
then
do
I
this
don't
one.
have any comments for this portion.
Okay, then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now on to resolutions. A through K, and then we have to be announced for teacher today.
Yeah, so currently we pay teacher substitutes $110 for the day. We increased that by $10. I want to say, might have been last year, or the year, I'm not sure, I think it was last year. With that said, it's still one of the lowest paid. We struggle tremendously with getting teacher subs. So for example, Riverhead pays $150. And although we hear from our subs that they enjoy working in Manitowoc, in terms of clientele students and the politeness, and that it's not a terrible assignment to sub in Manitowoc. On the other hand, it's, if we're doing the same work, it's $40 difference. So I'd like to propose an increase in that area to minimally $120 an hour. Per hour, per day.
Wait,
Per day.
I got a problem with the hour.
And Pat, earlier you had asked about the nurses and what our needs would be. I do believe subs, I want to look at even a permanent sub that we can secure now that could help us should some staff member need to be out right away. There was somebody I had in mind and they've already secured another job. So I think we have would have to be certified. Yeah, we need to get in front of it because I think there's a lot of.
And we don't have a permanent sub. We did have it.
We have Michelle Koch works 0.4 teacher, and then some of her day she subs. So she's quasi-permanent sub, but she also coordinates the sub coverages at the high school. So it's not really. So we would be recommending sub for the elementary. I don't know right now. I want to work through, that's part of our plan and the staffing considerations, but even I don't even know about teacher needs. So we posted for a teacher position, although our class sizes are appropriate right now. I want to get in front of it. Should we need to interview? That might be somebody that we consider for a permanent sub position.
Didn't last year, or I don't know when, you indicated that we also had an issue with state requirement with respect to our teacher subs?
Yeah, so we're limited by 40 days that you can teach outside of your certification.
Yeah.
And so we were very careful of that in terms of keeping a log of where teachers were. And so we went over that in a little bit, but not as much as we used to.
So can I suggest that you make that more than 120? Only because what I'm hearing you say is, number one, it's difficult to get. Number two, we're way under somebody else. Number
Reorg pays 150, I think Southwold pays 130.
I was gonna say, I thought they paid 135, but I'm not really sure.
I think it's around that.
Yeah. It just sounds to me like at least 125. I mean, I would go higher, but I think I'd get this back. At least 125 or 130.
What's our budget, Frank, for this item?
Yeah, so it's budgeted, not, it's budgeted as like a lump sum amount based on the prior year. So any increase, like if you had the same level of like usage, then we would have to do a budget transfer during the year, but we don't know, it could come in under, so.
If we had came in under because of COVID.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
But do we know what the dollar is for next year?
I could tell you, I could look, I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, all right. I was just
We're
wondering.
definitely way under this year, obviously.
Right.
So there's no telling.
And it's currently 110?
I just know that when I worked there, how difficult it was to get somebody to come in.
So when there's no sub, teachers can work an extra period, so we pay them an hour of a period by period rate, depending on their schedule and their volunteer. Sometimes we assign people.
And in the junior high and high school, there's so many periods you have to work, and then you get paid extra. So I can't remember what that was contractually.
Two coverages and then.
Yeah, something like that.
Get paid.
Yeah.
So your teachers are available to cover stuff.
Yeah, that happens more at the high school level.
Yeah,
not
it doesn't
at the
happen, we don't
elementary
have
level.
it there.
Even though we do ask, then even to do lunch coverage at the time.
If you can show the state that you've made every effort to get subs and you just absolutely can't, can you have someone work over 40 days?
I mean, again, you have to report out that.
Okay.
And we're gonna get a slap on the wrist kind of thing, but one of the things that the state is really trying to make a concerted effort is that people don't teach out of certification, because in very rural areas and upstate New York, you can get someone who has just a degree or not even a degree, and they're in classrooms with children, and they're really looking at districts and their sub-functions.
Right. So I know we have some people that even had a teaching certificate at one point or another, but have expired certification. And we're doing a very good job as a sub, but now they can only do 40 days.
Frank?
It's about 170,000.
So going up to 125 would increase that to 200,000? 210?
What are we at right now?
110.
That's about 14%, so it's 17.
Your administrators acknowledge
Yeah, it's
that
about $8,000.
it's a small pool out here and travel. You know.
Well, that's the other thing, unless you live here, nobody wants to come here.
But we're also pulling, like everybody's pulling from.
Yeah.
Same kind of.
So we're competing with higher rates.
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
Southwold under,
And 125 would still keep us at the low end, but we're a little more competitive. All right, I make a motion, 125,
I second.
discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Well, it should be part of the resolution, okay?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
I just
then
want-
that's what we're putting down, okay, got it.
I just want to say thank you for acknowledging like that challenge for us, because it is a challenge. And again, I don't know that I'm gonna get more people.
Well, you might not, but the people that are working, I think they might pick up the phone more often in the morning. And I know in the elementary school, it at one point was a nightmare to try to get people. So, everything good.
Everything comes, thank you.
Great, thank you. So, okay, yeah, we need, I would like a motion for approval of resolution items A through K.
So,
Second?
So we've had discussion.
no, hold on.
More discussion, all right?
Frank, maybe you know, item K, the wood lady and the sheet metal grate, we're gonna be discarding them. What will be done with them? Any idea? I'm just thinking we can put them out, they would be worth some money. If we put them out on the front lawn with for sale sign or something.
Cover some of those stuff.
That I don't know, I'd have to check and see.
Just a suggestion, I'm not opposed to discarding them, but let's see what we can do.
Okay, yeah,
That's it.
okay.
It does, we'll put them by your tomatoes, sign.
Sheet metal grate, yeah.
Well, people seeing this, they approach us and say, I'd like some of that equipment.
Cool.
You know,
Yes.
people who are looking at the agenda might realize, wait a minute, I want that.
Yeah.
We're contacted.
Tomorrow.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Then all in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And with that, I'm going to skip to a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second? And all in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone on the phone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come home now. Back.
So can I just hold